Chapter 9. Adjectives. Read these sentences. Rohini has a pink dress. It was an interesting movie. Father bought 4 chocolates. In sentence 1, the word pink tells us about the color of the dress. In sentence 2, the word interesting tells us about the kind of movie. In sentence 3, the word 4 tells us about the number of chocolates. These words, pink, interesting, and 4, tell us more about the nouns dress, movie, and chocolates. Adjectives are describing words that tell us more about persons, animals, places, and things. Position of adjectives. Adjectives are usually placed before the nouns they describe. Example, he is an old man. Adjective, noun. However, sometimes the adjective can be placed after a noun. Example, the man is old. Noun, adjective. Types of adjectives. Adjectives can be divided into the following types. Adjectives. Adjectives of quality tell about the kind of nouns. Adjectives of quantity tell about the quantity of nouns. Adjectives of number tell about the number of nouns. Demonstrative adjectives point out to nouns. Interrogative adjectives ask questions. Possessive adjectives show possession. Adjectives of quality. Read the following sentences. This is a storybook. It tells us about the kind of book. Mitu is a good dancer. It tells us about the kind of dancer. These words, story, good, are adjectives since they tell us about book and dancer. Story tells us about the kind of book. Good tells us about the kind of dancer that Mitu is. Good and story are adjectives of quality. Adjective of quality is an adjective that tells us about the kind or nature of a person, thing, or animal. Examples: small, big, and large. It answers the question, what kind of? Adjectives of quantity. Read the following sentences. The teacher gave me some homework for Sunday. It tells us about the quantity of homework. I have enough time to complete the work. It tells us about the quantity of time. The words some, enough are adjectives since they tell us about the nouns, homework and time respectively. Some tells us how much homework the teacher gave. The word enough tells us how much time I have. These adjectives are adjectives of quantity. An adjective of quantity is an adjective that tells us about the quantity of a thing. Example, some, enough, and much. It answers the question, how much? Adjectives of number. Read these sentences. All the students were present at the event. It tells us about the number of students. They will return after 2 weeks. It tells us about the number of weeks. The words all and two are adjectives since they describe the nouns students and weeks respectively. All tells us how many students were present. 2 tells us after how many weeks they will return. All and 2 are adjectives of number. An adjective of number is an adjective that tells us about the number of persons, things or animals. Examples, 1, 2 and many. It answers the question, how many? More about adjectives of number and adjectives of quantity. Adjectives like second, fourth, fifth are also adjectives of number. They are called ordinal adjectives and show the order in which a person or thing stands. Some adjectives may be both adjective of quantity and adjective of number depending upon their use. Examples: I have enough work for the day. I have read enough stories over the weekend. In sentence 1, enough tells us how much work, so it is an adjective of quantity. In sentence 2, enough tells us how many stories, so it is an adjective of number. Here are some more examples. Some people want to meet you. Adjective of number. Meena wanted some money. Adjective of quantity. He drank all the water in the jug. Adjective of quantity. All the cows belonged to the farmer. Adjective of number. Let's learn about some adjectives of quantity and quality which convey the same idea. Little, few. Both little and few convey the same idea. But little is an adjective of quantity, whereas few is an adjective of number. Little is used with uncountable nouns. Few is used with countable nouns. Examples: a little smile, a little work. Smile and work are uncountables. A few people, a few chairs. People and chairs are countables. Much, many. Much and many also convey the same idea, but much is an adjective of quantity, whereas many is an adjective of number. Examples: much help, much work. Help and work are uncountables. Many girls, many books. Girls and books are countables. Demonstrative adjectives. Read these sentences. This bike is Rahul's. It tells us which bike. I can see that mango tree. It tells us which mango tree. The words this and that are adjectives since they describe bike and tree respectively. The word this points out which bike is Rahul's. The word that points out which mango tree I can see. This and that are demonstrative adjectives. Demonstrative means pointing out. A demonstrative adjective is an adjective which is used to point out naming words. Examples: this, that, these, those. Such are demonstrative adjectives. It answers the question, which one? More about demonstrative adjectives. This and these are used to point out persons or things which are near. That and those are used to point out persons or things that are far away. That and this are used with singular nouns. Those and these are used with plural nouns. Remember, this, that, these and those are also used as demonstrative pronouns. Examples: this book is mine. Demonstrative adjective, noun. A demonstrative adjective is usually placed before the noun it qualifies. This is my book. Demonstrative pronoun, verb. A demonstrative pronoun is usually placed before a verb. Interrogative adjectives. Read these sentences. What animal is that? Whose book are you reading? Which dress do you want? The words what, whose and which are adjectives since they describe animal, book and dress respectively. As they ask questions, these adjectives are called interrogative adjectives. An interrogative adjective is an adjective which asks a question. Examples: what, whose and which are interrogative adjectives. Possessive adjectives. Read these sentences. My book is lying on the table. It tells us whose book. They sold their house. It tells us whose house. My and their are adjectives. My tells us that the bag belongs to me or is possessed by me. Their house means the house possessed by them or belonging to them. These adjectives show possession or belonging and are called possessive adjectives. A possessive adjective is an adjective that shows possession or belonging. Examples: his, her, our, and your. It answers the question whose.